We're at number 46, YouTube Live Yoga Routine. And today, we're not going to do the 12 sun salutations like we've been doing. We're going to move into a different 30-minute or so routine. I say or so because I keep the videos 30 minutes and routines are about 25 minutes or so. And we're going to do the mountain pose, 2 sun salutations, and then we're going to add warrior 2 and warrior 1 in that order. And then we'll do a plank or 2 planks or so. And the child pose, just because we did the plank, so we can focus on the lower back from the plank. Now with the warrior 1 and 2, and even with the plank, it feels like maybe their arm for the arms, but 2 things. Focus on the core, which is the abs. Believe it or not, the focus is on the core. The focus is on the breathing, but the awareness is on the core, not necessarily the arms. You'll feel it in the arms, but it's all about the core because that's the center of gravity. That's where everything comes from, basically, in regards to the body. So you're going to keep belly button into the spine, but you're still going to breathe. Just because the belly's engaged, the abs are engaged, doesn't mean you don't breathe. So you keep the abs engaged, and then with these poses, with the main poses of warrior 2 and warrior 1, you're gaining a mindset of strength. When we think of a warrior, we think of fighting and all, but it's also strength of being strong, and that's the mindset that you're gaining on the mat with this routine. So let's go ahead and begin. We're going to go into mountain pose. Feet are shoulder width apart. Toes go up. Spread the toes as wide as you can. Each toe touches one at a time to the floor. Knees are slightly bent. Hips are tilted. No tension in the arms or shoulders. Think of yourself as being tall, so lengthen up. Get yourself as tall as you can. And what you're doing in the mountain pose is finding that spot where the skeleton is just standing. If it was just a skeleton, you're trying to find that spot where the skeleton would just stand. And you're gaining the mindset in the mountain pose as oneness, as firmness, just like a mountain is one with the earth. It is the earth, just like we're the earth. And you bring palms together, thumbs to the heart center. My hands will disappear out of the frame of the camera, but just keep them in the prayer, or go out a little bit. I go out a little bit, or you can just go like this. The arms can just go up. Just make sure you're focusing on the breathing. Your mind and body's connecting. You're doing yoga. Push the arms out, up and back. Inhale slowly. Exhale, as you exhale, you hinge forward from the lower back, reaching out, and then going down. Once you're down, palms are to the calves, elbows into the sides of the legs. Forehead is going towards the knees, and you're listening to your body. So you pull yourself in, but you're not going past the point of where you think, hey, I shouldn't go past that point or any further. Find that spot, settle in it, accept where you are physically, and just focus on the breathing. The focusing on the breathing is what allows the mind and body to become one. And if your mind and body is one, no matter how the pose looks or you think the pose should look, you're doing yoga. Palms to the sides of the feet. Left leg is back into a low lunge. With the low lunge, the top of the foot to the floor, knees to the floor, square up the hips, pushing them forward diagonally. The back is straight or maybe arched a little bit. Palms are to the floor. Make sure the foot is between the hands and the knees not over the toe too much. If the knees are over the toe too much, lengthen up just a little bit, or maybe you're to your fingertips, maybe you're here. Whatever you like to do or need to do, settle in the pose, accept where you are, and focus on the breathing. Now with the back foot, toes under. We're going to go to a high lunge. We're not going to stay in high lunge. We'll settle here. We're using the high lunge as a transition pose. Then downward dog. In the downward dog, the arms are straight, legs are straight, tailbones go to the ceiling, heels towards the floor. No tension in the neck, so the head is dangling. And you're pushing into it, but you're just pushing to the spot where you feel like you shouldn't go any further. Once you find that spot, settle in it, accept where you are, and just focus on the breathing. Then you slide into the upper dog, or modify it how you have to. You drop down to the knees and the chest, you slide up. With the upper dog, tops of the feet are to the floor. Of course, the palms are to the floor. Head is dropping back. And if you need to modify it, you go down to the cobra, the small cobra, where the belly is off the floor. I'm sorry, not the belly. The chest is off the floor. Shoulders are off the floor. And your palms are touching the ground, but they're not pushing. You're not using the arms. You're pulling up. With the back are pull muscles. So you're using those and you're pulling up, not pushing. And back to downward dog, pushing into it, pushing to that spot right before you feel like, hey, I shouldn't go any further. Arms are straight, legs are straight, and just focus on the breathing. And you can bring the left foot up between the hands. That's the foot we took back, so that's the one you bring back up, because that allows you to do the other side. So with the back foot, foot is flat, top of the foot's to the floor, knees to the floor, hips are square, pushing forward diagonally, back is straight, maybe arched. Make sure the knee is not going over the toe, and if it is, lengthen up just a little bit, but you're still trying to find that spot for you. Maybe the knee is going over the toe a little bit. Bring yourself out of it just a little bit so you don't put too much strain on the knee. Palms are to the floor, maybe the fingertips, or maybe you're just up here because you can't go down. That's fine too. Settle in the pose, accept where you are, and just focus on the breathing. And with the back foot, curl the toes under, knee goes up. We go into a high lunge. We'll just settle here for a second or two. Then move in to the standing forward bend. Pull yourself in and down. Forehead's going towards the knees. Just focus on the breathing. palms together, reach out, up and back. Inhale. Exhale, turn the palms out, push there down and out. One more sun salutation. Inhale. Exhale. As you exhale, you hinge forward from the lower back. Palms go to the calves, elbows into the sides of the legs, forehead's going towards the knees, pulling yourself in and down, focusing on the breathing. Now in this pose, when you inhale, the belly swells with air, so it slightly pushes you out of the pose. Then when you exhale, the belly goes in, so you go back into the pose. You're focused on the breathing, but you're aware of that subtle movement. Focusing on the breathing allows you to be aware, but you're not focused on those things. You're just focused on the breathing. Arms to the sides of the feet, left leg is back again. To a low lunge, with a low lunge, top the foot to the floor, knees to the floor, hips are square, pushing forward diagonally, palms into the floor, maybe to your fingertips. Make sure the knee's not over the toe. And just find out where you are, settle there, accept it, and just focus on the breathing. Your mind and body are connecting as one. You're doing yoga. No matter how the pose looks, no matter how you think the pose should look, let go of that mindset and just accept. Now with the back foot, curl the toes under, knee goes up into a high lunge. We'll settle here for 1 to 2 seconds, and then move into downward dog, pushing into it. Arms are straight, legs are straight, tailbones to the ceiling, heels are towards the floor, no tension in the neck. And you are pushing, but you're not pushing past the point of where you think you shouldn't go. You find the spot right before you think, man, I shouldn't go any further. Find that spot, settle there, accept where you are, and focus on the breathing. I just thought it'd be great if I had a mic. I can't. Down to the knees and the chest, slide up, upper dog. I'll get a mic eventually, maybe this Friday. Or modify this pose how you have to. Again, if you need to go to the small cobra, go to the small cobra. I had bad luck with the mic, last mic. Kept on messing up. Then back to downward dog. Pushing into it, arms are straight, legs are straight, tailbones to the ceiling, heels towards the floor. Just focus on the breathing. Bring the left foot up between the hands, low lunge. With the low lunge, top the foot to the floor, in the back, knees to the floor, square up the hips, pushing them forward diagonally. Back is straight, or maybe arch. Make sure the knee's not over the toe. If it is, lengthen up some. Again, maybe you're to your fingertips right now. For me, I feel like I need to go to my fingertips. I go down a little bit further. I'm just a little tight on this side. Back foot, curl the toes under, knee goes up, high lunge. Settle here for 1 to 2 seconds, then move into standing forward bend. Pull yourself in and down. Just focus on the breathing. Palms together, reach out, up and back, inhale. Turn the palms out, push the air down and out, exhale. You go back to mountain pose. Again, with mountain pose, toes go up, spread the toes as wide as you can. Each toe touches one at a time to the floor. Knees are bent slightly. Hips are tilted. Arms are relaxed, shoulders relaxed. Lengthen up and find that spot where the skeleton is just standing. No tension anywhere. Now we're going to do the warrior 2 and warrior 1. We're going in that order. So left foot goes up to the front of the mat. It's in the center of the mat. And just do the best you can. Think of strength. Gain the mindset of strength. And keep the core engaged. So keep the abs engaged. And then once you're in the pose, keep them engaged. So you want to make sure you're lengthened up. So the right foot goes back. The right foot turns slightly. The heel of the front foot lines into the arch of the back foot. And then you're going to sink straight down. So the torso goes straight down. Front leg bends. Back leg stays straight. So this is the warrior 2. I was taught to call it the archer. Right? And the archer's like this. So I got a kayak right there. Actually, it's a box, a black box right there. But it's the warrior 2. We'll call it the warrior 2 because everyone else is called it the warrior 2. So think of the back arm, get it parallel to the floor, and you're sinking down as much as you can. For me right now, my lower back is kind of tight, so I'm just listening to my body. You know, as an instructor, you're like, hey man, you need to do it perfectly. I am doing it perfectly for me. For now. We won't stay here long. Then you're going to rotate the shoulders and then square them up. Get them as square as you can. If you need to bring the right foot out a little bit to get more balance, do that. But if not, just square up the shoulders. Stay down if you can. So the front leg bends, back leg is straight, shoulders square, and you're reaching up. And I was taught that this was the exalted warrior. We won't stay here long. See, my leg is hurting. But technically, if I was doing it, I would focus on the breathing, aware of my back leg. Not focus on it. Now, palms go down to the front. Downward dog, pushing into it. Arms straight. Legs straight. Tailbone to the ceiling. Heels towards the floor. Now you're going to go to the other side. So the right foot goes up. Or just make sure you're on the other side. So the right foot is at the front of the mat. At the two. Or no, what was that? That was about. So it's in the center of the mat. Back leg is straight. Front leg bends. Now with the back foot, the foot is turned slightly. The heel of the front foot lines into the arch of the back foot. Now, if the knee's going over the toe too much, you want to lengthen up. Think of the back arm, get it parallel to the floor. Warrior 2, but I'll call it archer. Right into that black box again. Okay, it's not the archer. And you're just sinking straight down. So you're not leaning, or if you are, you're not leaning too much. Just listen to your body, do the best you can. Focus on the breathing. Now rotate the arms, the shoulders, reaching up. Warrior 1, exalted warrior. Abs are engaged, so the belly button's going into the spine. Square up the shoulders. I'm talking too much, so I'm not even doing the pose, actually, the poses. Stop talking, Charlie. Now palms go down to the front. Downward dog, pushing into it. Then down, hands and knees. My breath is not linked up with the poses. Flatten the back feet. Space out the knees, extend the child pose. So think of the lower back, keep the hands where they are, sitting back on the heels, and just sink into the pose. So this one, you're not pushing down. Just accept where you're going. Keep the hands where they are. Just focus on the breathing. I tell you what, when you talk too much when you're doing yoga, your breath is out of sync. And you're like, can't even breathe. Gotta get my stopwatch. Now think of the fingers, walk yourself out with fingers. Keep the butt down to the heels and walk yourself out. Now arms go to your sides, full child pose. Let yourself just sink into it. You're not pushing down. You're learning acceptance, and just let your body go where it goes. Now hands go back up, back to hands and knees. Curl the toes unders. Curl the toes under. Knees go hip width apart. Now we're going to go into downward dog just for 1 or 2 seconds, maybe 3 seconds, and then right into a plank. So, downward dog, pushing into it, and then go into a plank. For the plank, we'll do a minute plank. So modify it how you have to. Go down to your knees, go back a little bit if you need to, but what you're making sure you're doing is keeping the belly button into the spine, engaging the abs. So you're not sucking the abs in, you're engaging them. And just focus on the breathing. So you can try the full plank, 5 seconds, then go back down, go back up. That's fine too. Just find out where you are, listen to the body, and you're learning acceptance. But you're also learning strength. Wherever you are, you're accepting your strength. So 15 more seconds. Focus on the breathing. Then you're going to go hands and knees. Flatten the feet. Space out the knees. Thinking of the lower back. Bringing the butt down to the back of the heels. Keep the hands where they are. And just sink into the pose. And even if this pose is too much, just bring yourself out of it. Again, you're learning acceptance. Accept where you are. Your mind and body's connecting, you're doing yoga. Now go ahead and bring yourself back up. Back to hands and knees. So till the curl under. Knees are hip width apart. And then we're going to do another plank, 1 minute. Modify it how you have to. Accept where you are. That's the important part. Accept where you are. You got to let go of the mindset of trying to be somewhere. You got to let go of the mindset of control. You got to let go of the mindset of trying to do the perfect pose, what you think the perfect pose is. The perfect pose is whatever you're doing or can do. So downward dog, then into the plank. Get the mindset of strength. Accept where you are. And just focus on the breathing. Remember, the belly button is going into the spine. The abs are engaged. Firm. You're strong. Just like a warrior. Powerful. Getting that mindset. Very important mindset to have. And you are, no matter who you think you are, your strength At 20 more seconds. So if you need to modify it, modify it. You're starting to shake. Hey, modify it. The most powerful thing, the most strong thing is acceptance, non-judgment. That's what you're learning. So back to hands and knees, flatten the feet, space out the knees, keep the hands where they are, sitting back on the heels, extend the child pose, think of the lower back. The plank can be hard on the lower back. So think of the lower back, even if you need to move to the side. Go to the side, count to 5 or so, and then go to the other side. Count to 5 or so. Take care of the lower back. So back to hands and knees, curl the toes under, knees go hip width apart. Now you're just going to sit back on the heels. You're keeping the toes curled under. If it's too much, bring yourself out of it. I know for a lot of people this pose is too much on the feet because in the Western world, at least, I'll just say in America because that's what I know, our feet are always in shoes. We neglect the feet. Feet are very important. Just focusing on the breathing. You can bring yourself up, flatten the feet, thunderbolt pose, prayer pose. And just focus on the breathing. Keep the back straight. You're still keeping yourself lengthened. Still trying to find that spot where the skeleton is just balancing, as best you can. Now, we're going to stay in the prayer pose, or you can go to the easy pose. The easy pose is just like the sitting thing you used to do in elementary school, right? Well, actually, that was more like cross legs. But back is straight, hands are to your knees. You need a pillow to bring yourself up so you get the back straight turn, or just stay in the prayer. I'm going to stay in the prayer. And just focus on the breathing. Now, here, what you want to do is watch yourself breathe. There's different ways to do it, but 2 good ways. As you inhale, the belly swells with air, and then when you exhale, the belly goes in. Just watch that. Watch yourself breathe. You're already breathing automatically, so you're watching it, not controlling it, letting go of the mindset of control. Or bring your focus to the tip of your nose and just watch the air go in and then out, in and out. And you're just watching yourself breathe. Again, you're already breathing automatically, so just watch it. We'll just stay here a little bit longer. Now we're going to do the yoga seal. You can stay in the prayer and do the yoga seal if you like. Or if you're in the prayer, you want to go down to the easy pose, or if you're already in the easy pose, you're one step ahead. You're going to reach behind you. You grab the left wrist with the right hand, or the right wrist with the left hand, whatever you like to do. And then you lean forward. As you lean forward, the forehead's going down towards the floor. And you're sealing in all the benefits of the yoga poses. And you're keeping the peace that you gained through the rest of the day. Bring yourself back up. Hands go back in front. You gotta sneeze. I teach you to sneeze like that. Now, swine flu. And just focus on the breathing. Let's stay here just a little bit longer. Just watch yourself breathe. Bring the palms together. Namaste. That's it. So, you're just doing the best you can. I need to tighten that routine up just a little bit. It's a routine I was doing in the very beginning a little bit. I changed it up. What I do when I teach, I'm teaching a mindset, or I'm allowing the understanding of a mindset to be realized. And because that's what we're learning on the yoga mat, a mindset. So acceptance, non-judgment. And you do all this by accepting yourself in the poses, not judging yourself against what you think a pose should look like. And you of course, you have that idea like, hey, this seems like the perfect pose. You try to do it maybe, and then you accept where you are. For me, I'm a yoga instructor, and I know I can't do the perfect pose like some of the people I see on YouTube or people I knew, especially dancers and stuff. I can't do that. But also, yoga is more than just the poses. It's a mindset. It's a lifestyle. It's a lot to it. The hatha part, the physical part, is just a part of the big picture of yoga. It was this too, one truth, many paths. There's Satchitananda ashram in Buckingham, Virginia. I think it's outside of Buckingham, Virginia, actually. I think it's right next to it, but they just say Buckingham, Virginia. And I could be wrong on that, though. I've been there many times. Very nice place, peaceful place. Haven't been there a long time. I heard they got a coffee shop. I seen the coffee shop last time I was there. I was like, man, they're drinking cream. This was like 15 years ago. And I was like a vegan. I was like, ugh. I was like, cream? What? Regular cream, not cream they made themselves. Cream from like Farm Fresh or Fry's or wherever. So anyways, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so I'll see you tomorrow, 5:30 a.m. Arizona time, Mountain Standard Time. So peace and love.